Breaking news coming out that the United States is gearing up for homeland defense. Now, this is coming as Russia and Chinese warships are in the Pacific. Now, this came out yesterday. So in addition to all the stuff I've been sharing with you about the threats against Alaska, we're now hearing, in addition to that, they are moving towards Alaska by sea. So yesterday I shared with you all of this. This was a potential nuclear bomber, a Russian bomber, fighter aircrafts detected in Alaska defense zone, NORAD says. So they said that they were very upset with what was unfolding as a result of these bombers that were flying by, several jets, military jets going by. Take a look at this.
Welcome to your WTF Landia Radio Late Show, my friends. It is none other than your girl. It is your girl, Char Michelle, and I hope that you're well. Well, I actually hope that you are better than well, my friends. I hope that you are swimming. When I say swimming, I do hope that we aren't swimming out near Alaska right now, my friends, because I'm telling you what, it's not funny. It's not. It's going down over there. It's going down up there. And so we got to talk about it, guys, because that's what we're here for in this here news broadcast. We have to talk about the events that we're looking at. We have to talk about it with no fear, and we got to move on and get in the clear because we know that Jesus is near. Boom! That rhymed. Hey! Yes, and that's a fact, my friend. I'm not going to nudge that off like that was a joke. That was, yes. Because I got rhymes like, wait, hold up. Let's read the news. Guys, the U.S. military is steadily boosting its presence near Alaska. Okay? I don't know if y'all are knowing what's going on over in Alaska and how close Alaska is to Russia. See, most people in America, we're not taught geography so well, so we don't realize how close we are in vicinity to Russia, which is why we've kept Russia at an arm's length, and we've always been in power enough to say, don't come across here, but now we've got Joey B's walking around like a robot off airplanes backwards, and we got Kamala's and we're cackling away about trying to win a presidency that no one knows. She's a wild card. No one knew. Who knew that she was going to slide herself into the mix? But here we are, sounding drunk every time she hits the stage. I'm not sure, though. She could be sober. She could never have taken a drink in her life. She says she smoked some weed, and listened to Snoop Dogg in college, but I'm not sure. I feel like everybody has, and that's not a flex. Snoop Dogg's, I feel like Snoop Dogg may have a weed tree going inside of his tummy, but I'm not sure. Again, I can't be sure of anything because this podcast is for educational purposes only. We can educate ourselves how to smoke weed for the length of time that Snoop Dogg has. This guy's been going for a while. Hey, Snoop Dogg. Surprises, he probably burps and it smells like straight up weed resin, like bong water. Probably pees bong water out. I'm not sure. Only Shantae knows. Shantae, what's up, girl? That's Snoop Dogg's loving wife for a lot of years. Hey, she's probably seen a lot of stuff. I wonder if she smokes weed, too. Anyways, back to the news, my friend. I don't know how we got off into that topic, but I can tell you what, that's just to kind of make us feel a little less, afraid of the fact that Russia and vicinity to America, Alaska, in conjunction to the length, they're 50 miles apart. It's like driving from Vancouver to, to what's that state over in Washington, Seattle, even closer. So just to give you guys a kind of an idea, or driving from Los Angeles to Santa Barbara, or even closer. So there you go. Okay, so over the past month, the destroyer USS Sterett has been dispatched to the Alaskan coast in response to Russian Navy ships operating in the area. Army troops, and I want to go on to say this. when Russia was practicing military drills, it's in one of these podcasts, probably WTF Landia radio show, the first edition. This is the late show. So if you want to go check that out, look that up on Spotify or anywhere you get your podcast. And we talked about that. They were doing military drills, hand quotes, finger quotes, inverted quotes, just before they went in and attacked and attacked Ukraine. They said, we're just doing some drills. We're just practicing our drills. And that is to create less of a panic and less of a stir. We know now, right? And then they move in. It typically happens that way. And it's amazing that Israel is fighting Hezbollah. They're fighting Gaza. They're fighting. A lot of countries are going to be fighting. Russia's in there fighting Ukraine. Now they want to, amp up some war with the U.S. That's never been seen. It's about to go up, people. And here's the deal. We have to understand that this has been in the making. This is well due, according to biblical prophecy. So the U.S. destroyer has been in there. Army troops have landed on the remote island, Alaskan island, and fighter squadrons and other aircraft based in Alaska have been placed on heightened alert. You guys, listen. This isn't heard of. When have we read this kind of news? We're sending troops over into Alaska, and here's the deal with that. From studies recently shown that most people who are of the age of deployment are not even capable of fighting in the Army. That's the kind of generation that we're in right now, because you have to do certain tests. And many of the people in this generation that would be of warfighting age would not pass those tests, knowledge tests, and so forth. We don't usually typically have people go into training and war training like they do in China, like they do in North Korea or in South Korea. There's you have to prepare, so you have to go into the Army. you have to go into the Army. A lot of K-pop groups left into the Army, and that's because they needed training in case things like this happen. So Americans aren't very prepared. They are ready to take up this fight in skinny jeans. I can tell you that much, because there's just too much going on. Anyways, Moscow has taken to flexing its muscles in the Indo-Pacific and the Arctic as its relationship with China deepens, thanks in part to the war in Ukraine. See, China, I don't think people realize China had a meeting with Russia and the rest of the BRICS nation. I believe it was in 2022. Talked about that in the podcast, and that got my spidey senses up. They had dinner. You know what they talk about at dinner. You know how these dinners end up. They're not P. Diddy parties. They're not parties, they're dinners. I mean, that's structure. Let's have some strategy sessions. That's what it's giving. But largely, they have these things without allies in Europe to partner with. Russian ships and aircraft have run a series of large-scale exercises in the Pacific as Beijing and Moscow draw closer due to each nation's isolation from the international community. Building on economic ties brought about through international sanctions. A lot of people are pushing away from China and Russia, saying they're too complex, right? Russia's foreign minister is warning that it's fully ready for a conflict with NATO in the Arctic. We see NATO stepping up drills related to possible crisis in the Arctic, and they also shot up a NATO private fishing boat yesterday as well. Russia did. They're not playing. They didn't know what they was there doing. They didn't know if there's fishing, if they're ready to drop a nuclear weapon off in Russia, and Russia shot it up. These are alarming facts, people. And guess who has host of the biggest nuclear warhead? They haven't been throwing them nukes over in Ukraine. They don't need to. They can just keep pounding them in with the, drones and whatnot. They're going to save those nuclear warheads for that little submarine that they sent underneath the ocean last year that we podcasted about as well. People have taken their eyes off of things, the important stuff, and putting their eyes on Diddy parties. We need to focus, my friends. We need to refocus. My friends. This is not a funny thing. It's not a laughing matter. Because if we don't focus, we're going to get lost in the sauce. Okay? We're going to get lost in whatever the heck we're looking at that people are trying to go blind-eyed to. We got to clean off our white party eyeglasses and put on our war helmets, because this is about to go up. Anyways, NATO has stepped up their drills. They said our country is fully ready to defend its interests, military, politically, and from the standpoint of defense technology. And say most Americans think that this is happening because it's right around election time. America, get your head out of your bungo. It's not just about that. It's about the fact that these have been tempering up for a long time, and this is. Yeah, sure, election time's coming, and it does have an impact on the world. But right now, America's looking like a third world country as it is in many aspects. And so the borders are wide open. There could be sleeper cells popped off in there. So when they're ready to pounce, they can just give the word. I'm not sure. I'm just saying this is what my spidey senses are telling me. Keep your head up, guys. Don't worry about it, though, because at the end of the day, it's all must happen. These things must happen before the end comes. So I just wanted to jump in here and let us know that the Arctic includes territories belonging to the 8 nations: Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Canada, the U.S., Iceland, and Russia. All except Russia are NATO members. So the NATO members include those countries, and they're going to be on heightened alert when these things happen. Keep your heads up, guys. Keep your eyes up. The Arctic territory looks like it's under threat. All right, folks. And at the end of the day, enjoy your life. Have fun. Don't worry about the end of the world, because the end should come. Anyways. Later.